Joining me now from Toronto is Linda Gaylard. She's a tea sommelier and author of the tea book. So, Linda, why are these specialty cafes so popular? Is it the novelty or the experience? What's the draw here?
Well, I think certainly it's the novelty. Cafes have been around for a long time, and these have to differentiate themselves. So just to give a little context, cafe society began in the 17th century, so the mid-1600s, during the Age of Enlightenment, when coffee, tea, and chocolate arrived in Europe as luxury beverages. And so gentlemen, only men actually could go to these coffee shops, and they would discuss politics, science, and philosophy. And then later on, several hundred years later, when the suffrage movement was beginning, women would plot and strategize their next moves out of earshot of their husbands. And of course, cafes then were all over Europe in the form of patisseries and tea rooms in England and so on, until they kind of waned and fell out of favor after the Second World War. And then we saw the third wave of coffee, and that's where coffee shops just sprang up everywhere. And so now you'll see there's coffee shops in every corner, cafes on every corner. So the new themed cafes are aspiring to differentiate themselves and to create an experience, which is really what millennials want. They want to be able to not just have a nice hot beverage. In fact, probably the quality of the hot beverages is not that great in these themed cafes, but they're getting to interact either with themes that they love, like comic book, anime, live animals, and my personal favorite, the 2D cafe, which feels as though you've just walked into a comic book. So I think that is what's driving the popularity of the themed cafes.
Because on a basic level, I mean, just on a daily basis, people hop to the coffee shop down the street just for a break, to clear their minds or to get something to drink or to sort of chat with their friends, right?
Yes, but this is different. This is sort of appointment cafe visiting. In fact, I understand some of them you actually have to pay an admission. So it's a chance to, if someone has a particularly strong interest in something like anime, then they're going to be attracted to that type of cafe. I know in Toronto we have a board game cafe, we have a poo cafe, and we also have a cafe that has a sort of a Czechoslovakian tea room feel to it, with different levels of carpeting and pillows and that sort of thing. So it is, yeah, it's a way to relax in a venue and an environment that you can relate to.
So that being said, how do owners determine what will be popular or what will appeal to the public?
Well, I guess it's probably what their own personal interest is. If they feel that there's kind of a critical mass of other people who have the same interests as them, if they happen to really love cats or ducks or owls, then they would think, well, there must be a lot of other people who would love this, and tends not to be advertised in the traditional way, but is more word of mouth. And there are pop-up themed cafes that maybe just are around for, maybe a week, a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. So I think they're maybe taking a bit of a risk, but I think it's driven by a passion for a real interest in a particular theme.
Linda Gaylard in Toronto, thank you so much. We appreciate it.